Thanks for coming to the 7 a.m. class. Hey, buddy. For class, um, I would go ahead and possibly grab 2 blocks for this class. It's totally okay if you only have 1 block with you, but if you have a second, I always recommend having 2 in case you need them for balancing in certain poses. It just makes it a little easier. One's okay today. And if you have a strap, I would grab a strap. I have my athletic gym rope here and a nice comfortable blanket. Those are the only props that we would really be needing for class today. Cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you a few minutes to get yourself settled here. And if, what was I gonna say? Oh, you are more than welcome to play your own music this morning. My partner's asleep, so if you would like to be your own DJ at home, now is the perfect opportunity to go ahead and set that up for yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and just give a couple more minutes as everybody else gets a chance to come and join on the live feed. I can't wait till everybody comes back to the gym. A lot of us have been making our way back into the gym to get it cleaned up and to make it look like a brand new gym for a lot of y'all. Um, so you'll definitely see some changes once the gym reopens, hopefully um, by either the end of the month or early next month. But it's looking like we'll be open soon. Just don't have a concrete date yet. Nice. I'm just gonna give it one more minute. So I've noticed when I started class at like right at 7, other people started to join on it. And so this is a good time if you didn't grab your water yet, to go ahead and grab some water. Um, Most mornings, I try to every morning at least. I mix like lukewarm water, where it's just like a little bit on the warmer side, salt and lemon in it, and drink it or I try to drink it every morning, but before coffee. It's a great way to get yourself hydrated right away as soon as you wake up, as well as gaining all those minerals that you lost as you slept and sweated out. You might think it's weird, but it's actually it's not that bad. And now I feel like I can't drink water without salt in it. America. All right, cool. All right, so let's go ahead and start to get settled into our practice. You can make sure that the blocks are going to be at the head of the mat. It's always a good thing to keep in mind for like if you practice at home without an instructor, just always leaving 2 blocks or at least one at the front. Because even if you feel like you're experienced enough, I think that block should be used all the time in yoga. So you can go ahead, find your blanket, and we're going to come into a comfortable seated position here. And for today's practice, we're going to be focusing a lot on twisting and hamstrings today. If you have joined my previous classes this week, we worked with the Kundinasana Variation 2 pose. And with that pose, it requires a lot of opening up through the lower spine, as well as strength in our arm balancing and working with our core. And we're not going to be working with that pose today. I will leave some opportunities to lead yourself into that pose if you wanted to practice it at all through in our yoga class today. But just know that this morning, it's not required for class. Right. See you later. Bye bye. Bye bye. Good. So then you can go ahead and come into your comfortable seat. Rotate your shoulders back, having your spine nice and tall. And allow yourself to find your breath here. Maybe navigating the right hand onto the stomach and the left hand onto the lower spine, rooting through the tailbone. Bringing the chest up towards the ceiling. And maybe working with 5 rounds of Ujjayi breath. And if you remember what Ujjayi breath is, it's that breath where we breathe with our diaphragm. We have a little bit of that core engagement going on. And as we exhale through the throat, kind of sounding like Darth Vader. So we can take a deep inhale in through the nose. And then as you exhale, act as if you're clearing your throat. While still having that engagement to your lower stomach. 4 more times. Inhale. Be more. Keeping your spine nice and tall as we breathe. Palms to the side. And we're going to take a deep inhale, bringing your arms all the way up towards the ceiling. And then palms together. Exhale into the heart center. And then for that Ujjayi breath, we use that breath to help bring in concentration. It helps us to remind us to breathe, having it so auditorial, as well as at any time if you find yourself in a pose like a balancing pose, using that Ujjayi breath to keep your body engaged while remaining without holding your breath. So continue to breathe will help you stay put in those asanas. So you can go ahead and bring the palms back to the side and inhale. Bring your arms up towards the ceiling. You're going to go ahead and grab onto the left wrist here. Shoulders away from the ears. And we're going to inhale. Side bend over towards the right side of the room. Rooting through the left knee. Next breath. Inhale, rise. Grab onto the right wrist. And root the right knee down. And inhale. Side bend over towards the left side. 3 breaths. Good. Inhale. Ceiling, coming up to the left wrist. Side bending to the left side again. And then stretching as far as you can. Release the right hand to the ground and inhale. Continue to side bend over towards the right side of the room. Rooting through the left knee. Inhale, rise. Arms up towards the ceiling, lowering the left palm. Or I should say, grabbing onto the right wrist first. Inhale, bring it up towards the ceiling. Start to side bend for 3 breaths. And then releasing the left hand to the ground. Continue your side bend towards the left side of the room. Good. And inhale, rise. Both arms up. And then we're going to come into a forward fold as we see it. So bringing the tailbone back, bringing the arms forward here, straightening up through the spine. So leading with that chest, the tailbone back. And if you wanted to grab onto the blocks here, you can grab onto the blocks as you are forward folding. Right, reaching the tailbone towards the back of the room, crown towards the front. 3 breaths. Good. After the 3 breaths, hands stay on the floor or blocks and inhale, rise into a cow spine. And then exhale, run through the shoulders, chin to chest, into cat spine. Inhale to your cow spine, moving up. And then exhale, rounding through the spine, chin to chest. Good. Now let's go ahead and grab these blocks, walk them back towards us by our hips here, and straightening up through the legs. So gotta get some good hamstring workouts before we climb up onto our mat here. So you go ahead and place the blocks by our hips, releasing them off the blanket. Coming into our staff pose. And for our staff pose, rotating your spine back, lifting your chest up, heels to the ground. Inhale, pressing your hands into the blocks just to straighten out your spine. Engage that lower core. It's a good time for you to use that Ujjayi breath here for the 5 breaths. It is Thursday, so we're taking things a little slower today. And from here, after the 5th breath, go ahead and bend the knees. Sandwich your stomach onto your thighs here and grabbing onto your big toes. And so we want to create this suction to your stomach, to your thighs here, like through the spine, so that we can hip hinge as we fold into our Paschimottanasana. So as we have our stomach onto our thighs, we're going to grab onto our big toes and just kind of walk our feet forward, trying to keep your chest lifted and to keep your stomach onto your thighs. Good. So that we can decrease the rounding of our spine as we bend here. And if you get to a point where your hamstrings start to feel tight, or you start to find a dramatic roundness into the center of your spine, you go ahead and stay there for 5 breaths, because even right here in this morning, I can usually throughout the day fold forward but deeper, but since we are just waking up, I'm already feeling especially tight behind my thighs. So you can go ahead and just softly breathe here, guiding that chest forward. When you'll notice after some breaths that you're getting deeper into your asana, into the fold. So maybe we can take our ankles out a little bit more and then bring our chest forward, our tailbone back. See if you go a little bit more forward here, actively bringing your chest upwards and forward as we hip hinge. We're going to take our final 3 breaths here. Good. Grabbing up to the toes. Just very slowly walking ourselves back, keeping that spine straight. And then we're going to go ahead and keep our left leg out. And we're going to bring our right knee in. And with our right knee in, you can either choose to keep the foot to the inside of the thigh or take it to the outside. We're going to come into a twist. So outside the thigh is going to be just a little more challenging. And before we twist, Let's find that lift in through our spine. Chest is lifted, and then guiding the right knee towards the chest as our right thigh is actively pressing into the earth here. Good for 3 breaths. And we're going to go ahead, open up our palms to the T. We're going to inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. And then cactus arms, turning our ribcage over towards the right side of the room, hinging the left elbow out to the outside and the right hand behind. Lifting up through the chest. And then finding this twist, 3 breaths. Stay in the twist, but take your eye gaze over the left shoulder, 3 breaths. Good. And let's go ahead and very gently release. And then as we release, we're just going to hinge our right elbow, hugging our right thigh inward and taking our left hand behind. We're twist on the opposite side. For 3 breaths, eye gaze over the left shoulder and having that lifted spine here. Good. And then re-square yourself, finding a figure 4 shape with your legs. And from here, you're more than welcome to take a block underneath the right thigh or the right knee, whatever is most comfortable. Good. And if you wanted to as well, you could take a blanket underneath the right foot if it's uncomfortable on your thigh here. But from here, you can either hip hinge forward without a strap, or you can get a strap prepared around the left ankle. And inhale, rise, bring the arms up towards the ceiling, lifting up through the chest. And as we rise, we're going to inhale through the chest and hip hinge forward fold until you start to feel that rounding into your spine. You can go ahead and grab onto the strap here. Trying to lift your chest and hip hinge you forward. Good, keeping that right foot flexed. And we're going to stay here for 3 breaths. Good, keeping that chest lifted, and after the 3 breaths, we're going to relift our chest and hip hinge again for 3 more. Maybe going a little deeper this time. Good. And then very slowly rise, coming out of that figure 4 shape. Good. Release the strap. And then you can go ahead, release the feet, windshield wipe. And as we windshield wipe, bringing the feet together, coming into butterfly pose this time. So the feet's going to be together, the knees are out, spine is lifted. Inhale, arms up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to exhale, hip hinge forward fold, placing your hands onto the mat here. And you are more than welcome to use blocks if you need the support for your spine. Maybe pressing your hand into the blocks to keep your spine nice and straight. So sending your chest forward and your stomach down here. 3 breaths. Very slowly release. Windshield wipe the legs. And then we're going to take the right leg forward. Grab a block if you need to. Just place to the side for now with the left foot, either on the inside of the thigh or onto the outside. Just go ahead and find that staff pose here. Or I should say that straight spine, rotating the shoulders backwards up through the chest. And then from here, we're just gonna hug the left knee in for 3 breaths. Nice, and after the 3 breaths, you can inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. And then coming into cactus arms. And inhale, twist to the left side, hinging the right elbow to the left thigh. Keep the spine lifted. Left arm behind for 3 breaths. Then after the 3 breaths, you can just take your eye gaze over the right shoulder for 3 more. Good. And then re-squaring through the hips. You can place your left knee onto a block if you would like, or block onto the thigh. Grab onto your strap, figure 4 shape. Good. You can grab onto the ankles here with the strap, and then find that straight spine. And as you inhale, you're going to inhale, bring your stomach towards the foot and our chest towards the right foot. Coming to this forward fold. If you start to feel a dramatic rounding into the spine, just lay off a little bit. Just find that spinal engagement. Coming forward for 3 breaths. And then rising up. And exhale for 3 more breaths. And pinching forward folding. Yeah. And then you can go ahead and find that straight spine. Release the legs here. Do a little windshield wipe. Remove the strap. Bring the block back towards the front of the mat. Take a drink of water if you can. And then we're going to meet ourselves in extended puppy pose. So as we meet ourselves into extended puppy pose, we're going to have our hips above our knees, stomach towards our thighs, and the arms to the ground. Stretching out more through the spine, you're more than welcome to grab the blocks and place them on your forearms if you wish. 3 more breaths. I'm going to lift up and walk your hands over towards the left side of the room, keeping the hips square. Feeling a stretch mainly into the right side body. 3 breaths. And then we're going to go ahead and walk our way over towards the right side of the room. 3 breaths. Good. And then coming back into the center. And as you come to the center, you can spread your knees apart and your big toes to touch. Threading the needle. But first, we're going to inhale, rise, left arm towards the ceiling. And as the left arm is towards the ceiling, we're going to do a twist above here. Take the left arm behind your back. Grabbing into the right thigh. That gaze over the left shoulder. On the next breath, release the left arm. 3 squared. And then thread the needle. Left ear onto the mat. Left temple, tailbone up towards the sky. You can take your right arm either towards the front of the room, or you can take it behind your spine. You come into a twist on the opposite side. 3 breaths. Let's make it 5. And then we're going to place the right hand to the mat. Then we're going to inhale, left hand to the mat. 3 sets of cat-cows. Inhale, chest forward, tailbone up to your cow. And then exhale, round through the spine, chin the chest into your cat. And once you've done your 3 sets, we're going to inhale, rise, right arm towards the ceiling. Good. And then we're going to bring the right hand behind our spine, grabbing onto the left thigh, opening up our chest more towards the right side. 3 breaths. Good. Release the hand. And then inhale, rise, right arm towards the ceiling. We're going to exhale, rub through, or thread the needle. Bring in the right ear and temple to the ground, keeping the tailbone up. And you can either extend the left arm towards the front of the room, or if you wanted to, you can take the left arm behind your back, coming into a twist towards the left side, grabbing out to the right thigh. 5 breaths. And then you can slowly release. After your 5 breaths, yeah, back to the center. Coming your tail on tabletop. Bringing the knees into normal. Do 3 sets of cat-cow again. And then we're going to curl the toes. Bring the stomach onto the thighs. Bring the tailbone up towards the ceiling for a spinal stretch. And then slowly root through the heels for your first downward facing dog. So go ahead and pedal out each heel, engaging the thighs as we do so. Then we're going to bring the generous bend to the knees again. Tailbone up towards the sky. Eye gaze forward. Hop, step, or walk to the front of the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. And in this forward fold, we're going to just bring our feet slightly wider than hip length apart. Hands onto the thighs. Bring the tailbone back. Chest is forward. 3 breaths into this half figure 7. And just very gently start to guide yourself towards the floor, pressing your hands into the floor here or into the blocks in front, sending your tailbone back and your chest forward, straightening out through the spine. And possibly grabbing onto the big toes here into this forward fold. Tailbone is back, your chest is forward into that half lift. And then hip hinging. 3 more breaths. We're going to go ahead and walk our feet back into normal forward fold. Good. And pressing the hands into the mat for 3 more breaths. Tailbone is actively going up towards the ceiling and towards the back of the room. Inhale, halfway lift. go ahead and place your feet together here. Good. And bring in that tailbone back, coming into a squat. In here, rise into your chair pose. Looking up through the chest, arms are towards the ceiling. Big breaths. Good. Inhale, rise, high mountain, back bend if you wish. Good. Then palms together, reach the heart center. Very slowly. Knees are together, and we're going to come back, palms together into that chair. Keeping the chest lifted, tailbone is back. And then inhale, lift up through the chest and bring your right elbow to the left thigh. Chair twist. 3 breaths. Good. Inhale, palm center. Exhale, twist, opposite side. 3 breaths. Good. Inhale, palms, heart center. Rise all the way up into the high mountain. Back bend, if you wish. Palms together. Going back into chair. Inhale, twist to the left side. And then open up your palms. 3 breaths. Palms together into the heart center. And then twist over towards the right side. And then open up your palms. 3 breaths. Good. Palms together. Heart center. Rise all the way up into your high mountain back bend if you wish. Good. Then palms together. Bending at the knees, coming into your chair. Inhale, twist, left elbow to the left thigh, or right elbow to the left thigh. And then from here, engage the core, use the Ujjayi breath. I'm going to send that right leg back. Good. Into a lunge twist. Inhale, open up your palms. 3 breaths. Ujjayi breath. Good. Palms together into the heart center. I'm going to take the arms back, Silver Surfer style. And then inhale, rise, scoop your arms up into your high lunge. Okay. And then from this high lunge, drop the right foot, warrior diagonal, warrior 2. Open up through the chest, palms nice and wide. Front knee is bent as we root here, and we're going to flip the left palm, reverse the warrior. 3 breaths. Good. And then inhale, warrior 2. And very gently, we're just going to go ahead and square the hips just slightly to come into that warrior 1. You're going to take the hands and clamshell them behind your sacrum area. So if you need to adjust your footing, go ahead and do so. So we're going to rotate the shoulders back, straighten out through the arms. Good. We're going to inhale, rise, lift up through the chest, bringing your fist down, open up through our spine. Good. And then as we inhale, lift up through the chest, hip hinge, forward fold, come into humble warrior. Good. Bring your fist up towards the sky, left temple towards the left ear. 3 breaths. Good. And go ahead, engage the core, rise back up, straighten out through the front leg. Good. And then lift the front leg straight. And go ahead, open up into a triangle prep, bringing the right hip crease back, externally rotating the hips out. And the inhale, shift forward, Left hand outside the left foot, grab a block if needed. And inhale, open up your chest to the right side. Triangle, 3 breaths. Good. And then palms to the ground or onto blocks. You have your blocks in the front of the mat, so grab them if you need to. Coming into pyramid pose. Good. Find that straight spine. Stretching out the hamstrings, 3 breaths. Good. The right hand is going to go onto the left block. And then we're going to revolve our triangle, square through the hips. And we're going to inhale, send the left arm towards the ceiling, revolve triangle. Good. And then place the left hand down, right hand down here. Good. Pyramid pose for 2 reps. And shift forward here, sending the blocks forward, and then dropping the right knee, top of the right foot to the ground. Engage through the core, palms will go up, inhale, rise into Anjaneyasana. And with the Anjaneyasana, we're going to bring our palms together, and then bring up towards the ceiling, create a back bend for 3 breaths. Palms are together. And we're going to inhale, lift up through the chest, bring the right elbow to the left thigh, little lunge twist. Now open up your palms. 3 breaths. Palms together, heart center. And drop to the ground, coming into the lizard pose, walking your left foot towards the left side of the mat. Left pinky towards the left pinky toe. And you can keep your arms straight here. You have your blocks. You can bring your forearms to the blocks, or you can bring your forearms all the way to the ground. Elbows underneath your shoulder, sending your chest towards the front of the mat. 3 breaths. And then after those 3 breaths, you go ahead, straighten out through the arms, and if you wanted to attempt your Kundalini number 2, you can lift up the right knee, bend at the elbows, hinge your elbows onto your hips, and then rise your right leg back, raising the core. Left leg can be bent or it could be straight. Drop the toes down, coming into your upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Pedal up the legs. And you can slowly walk your body to the front of the mat. Uttanasana, that forward fold. Trying to inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And from here, we're going to place the feet together. And then inhale, rise the arms up into chair. And then pressing the palms together. Inhale, twist the body over towards the right side. Pressing the palms together. Engage the core. Send the left leg back. To the twisted lunge for 3 breaths. And then we're going to square through the hips, palms to the heart center, high lunge, arms up towards the ceiling. 3 breaths. And then we're going to drop the left leg, warrior diagonal, and we're going to come into your warrior 2. Getting nice and bent into the front knee. Flip the right palm up. Reverse your warrior. 3 breaths. Keep the front knee bent. Good. And then inhale. Warrior 2. And then we're going to just adjust the footing, kind of aligning the ankles together and squaring through the hips into our warrior 1. So still find that warrior diagonal with the left foot. Internally rotate that hip crease. Bring the arms up for warrior 1. And then we're going to place the hands behind the sacrum. Come into humble warrior. Rotate your shoulders back. First, inhale, lift up through the chest. Bringing your arms down. 3 breaths. Then we're going to inhale. Hip hinge, shift forward, humble warrior, right temple to the right knee, and that arms up towards the ceiling. 3 breaths. Slowly inhale, rise. Warrior 1. Warrior 2. Straighten out the front leg. And then we're going to bring that left hip crease back and inhale, reach forward. Coming into Trikonasana, left arm towards the ceiling. Right hand behind the right foot. 3 breaths. And then gently place the left hand down, coming into pyramid pose, grabbing onto blocks if you need them here. Setting that left hip crease forward, right hip crease back. Externally rotating the hips. Finding that straight spine. And then from here, we're going to navigate the left hand to the right block on the outside of the right foot. And square through the hips, and then inhale, bring the right arm towards the ceiling. 3 breaths. You're going to slowly release. Right hand back to the block. Left hand back to the block. Pyramid pose. Here's the step. Bring the box on the inside of the foot. And we're going to go ahead, come forward. And we're going to drop the knee for Anjaneyasana. Bringing your arms, inhaling into your Anjaneyasana, arms towards the ceiling. Placing the palms together. And from here, we're going to inhale, back bend if we wish. The palms to the heart center. We're going to go ahead and come down into our lizard pose. So navigating the right knee and the right foot towards the right corner of the mat, opening up that right knee. And then you can choose to place your forearms on to the blocks or to the mat here, finding that straight spine. And then we're going to come into this lizard pose for 5 breaths. After 5 breaths, you can restrain through the arms, and if you wanted to do the Kundalini number 2 onto the right side, you can lift up through the left knee, bend at the elbows, keep your hips up, hinge forward, hinge your elbows on to your body, straighten your right leg and your left for 3 breaths. Drop the knees, bring the legs back, coming into your upward facing dog. And then drop the knees to child's pose. And in child's pose, go ahead, walk your hands over towards the left side of the room for 3 breaths. And you release. And walk your arms over towards the right side of the room for 3 breaths. Then you go ahead, walk your hands back to the front and slowly come out of your child's pose onto your knees. And from here, we're going to go ahead and grab the blocks. We're going to place them tall to the outside of our feet here, finding your knees onto the blanket or your shins and your knees. Curl through your toes. Coming into camel pose, we're going to grab onto the blocks here. And as we align the blocks to our ankles, we're going to rotate our shoulders back to start into the girdle. We're going to inhale, rise up through the hips into our camel. And if you want to navigate to your ankles, you can go ahead and do so, lifting up through the chest and bringing your pelvic forward. Five breaths. After the 5 breaths, you gently place the hands onto the blocks. Nice crackle pop in the knees. Slowly bring your hips down. Flip your feet, top of the blanket. Go ahead and walk your hands backwards. Good. Rotate the shoulders back and inhale. Lift up your chest as if you're trying to align your chest to your hip crease here. Three more breaths. Good. And so from here, going to Huron pose. You can take your feet to the outside of the hips, so you can slowly bring your forearms to the mat. And if this is too much, you can stay here or straighten out through your arms, or if you would like, you can bring your spine all the way to the ground, stretching out through the body here. So either the forearms to the ground or your whole spine. And then you can inhale, bring your arms above overhead if your back is onto the ground. 3 breaths. And then very slowly release. Hands by your ankles, and if your forearms are still on the mat, you can keep your forearm onto the mat. And from here, I'm going to go ahead, forearms to the mat. And we're going to lift up through the chest and inhale, lift up through the pelvic here, grabbing onto the feet. 3 breaths. Okay. Very gently release. Hands onto the ground. Good. You can come and hinge forward, bring your legs forward here, feet onto the mat. Hands are going to go right underneath the shoulders, so straighten out through the arms. Rotate the shoulders back. Good. Find that core engagement, plant your feet to the ground. And we're going to inhale into inverted tabletop position. So making sure that your pelvic is in alignment with your chest and with your knees. If you need to create more space to start or decrease the space, you can go ahead and do both. Staying here for 5 breaths. Using that Ujjayi breath to keep you engaged here. And then if you want, you can bring your heels straight, toes pointed, down through the chest. 5 more breaths. And very gently release hips to the ground. Rising your arms up, nice and slow towards the ceiling. And hip hinge, forward fold, grabbing onto the feet or onto the shins. You can grab a strap if you need to, or just stay here for 3 breaths. Paschimottanasana. And then very gently rise up. Bend the knees, find your spine. Onto the blanket here. Bring your right foot on top of the left thigh. Hands onto the mat. We're going to go ahead and come into a figure 4 bridge. Just keeping that right foot nice and flexed. Press your hands into the mat and inhale, hips up towards the ceiling here, into your figure 4 for 5 breaths. After the 5 breaths, slowly release. And then bring the right foot to the floor, coming into a twist. I gaze over the right shoulders. Then very slowly bring the knees back up. Switch out the feet. Place the left one on top of the right thigh, figure 4. With your figure 4 shoulders underneath the back. And then inhale, rise hips up towards the ceiling. 5 breaths. Good. Very gently release the hips. And we'll slide the left foot down. And then inhale, twist. Knees towards the right side of the room. Mind gaze over the left shoulder. Both shoulders are onto the mat here. And inhale, bring the knees back to the center. Release the legs, hug the knees in. And then we're going to go ahead and inhale, bring the arms above overhead, point the toes to the front of the mat. Good. So get a deep inhale in through the nose. And then exhale through the mouth. Coming into your Shavasana pose for the next few moments. very gently waking up from your Shavasana state. You start to find some wiggles from your toes and your ankles, your fingers and your wrists to help reawaken your body. And very slowly, you bring your knees in towards your chest and take a deep inhale, bringing your arms above head, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. You guide your knees to either the left or to the right side, and slowly coming into a comfortable seated position. And from here, you can meet your palms into the heart center and take a bow for you and your climbing friends and neighbors who have shared this virtual space with us tonight, or this morning, I should say. And for that, I hope for some peace and for some hope throughout the rest of your day. And namaste. Weirdo. All right. Well, thanks so much for coming to the 7 a.m., getting bright and early. It was nice that the sun kind of popped out a little bit because it was a little gloomy outside. So I'm glad that they get to experience some of that this morning. And I hope that that you all have a nice day at work if you have to go to work at all or if you have to stay home and do work from home. Um, Stay tuned to be updated with any news from Adventure Rock. I know that last night the Wisconsin legislature was talking about reopening Wisconsin early, and there's a lot of confusion with that right now. So I'm sure that there's going to be many questions about that with Adventure Rock. Just stay tuned on our emails and on our website to figure out what we are doing for our course of action. With that, other than that, I hope you all have a great day and thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Bye. What did you want to say bye to? No, she's going to judge me over there. Okay, bye, dog.